Hey guys, it says we're live. So I am going to talk to myself. This is Rich in Thailand. Go. This is going to be our first live stream. We're going to see how it goes. I've never done one of these before that wasn't a test. And man, the lighting sure is not good. But we can fix that soon. Ah, thanks. A thumbs up. My God. Hey, Steve. Howdy from Texas. It's another beautiful day. Yeah. Where are you in Texas? I did my time in the Army in Texas, or part of it, really. I actually liked it. Hey, Scott. Good evening. Welcome. Welcome to the channel. Howdy. On Call 21. Melbourne, Australia. That's on my bucket list for sure. That is definitely on my bucket list. Oh, Fort Hood? I was Fort Bliss. And at first, I hated Fort Bliss. I did my AIT and my boot in Fort Bliss. And in the beginning, I didn't like it. By the end, I did like it. So I got a dirt bike there towards my last part of my service, and I absolutely loved the desert that was hooked up to Fort Bliss. I never been to anywhere else there. Oh, you did 25? My God. I didn't do 25. I actually came back and ended up getting out of El Paso, Texas. I did most of my time in Europe, though. Yes, I too love the Philippines. Yes, I had a great time there. And I'm having a great time in Thailand. Like I said in the last video, there's a lot of differences, I think, in both of them. I think that the people are really nice. Oh, Subic Bay? I never went there. I did time in Cebu and Cavite and Iloilo. I like Cebu a lot, and I liked Iloilo well enough. And I liked Cavite. I was there for 2 years. Steve's still there, our roving reporter, Steve. So I've heard good things about Subic, though. I heard it was a little expensive. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what I heard. Yes, indeed. How are things in Australia? Yes, I really want to go to Australia. So, but I wanted to continue to talk about the language barrier. I think, yes, thank you. I also believe it's been incredible. Magandang gabi. Yes, yes. Um, I have found my place in Thailand as much as I liked the Philippines. Ah, gotcha. No. I am absolutely learning a lot of the language. I hadn't heard Magandang Gabi in a while, which I thought was really um, because, like I said in my last video, I learned probably two handfuls of words from the Philippines, enough to interact when people couldn't speak English. Yeah, ¿cómo está po? Oh, well, look who it is. My God, my special friend. My God, I think I'll make you moderator. There you go. Yes, I learned a lot of words that I thought I might need, and it's really interesting here in Thailand because it's not just the words; it's the inflections, as people will tell you. The weather here has gotten really nicer. I worked out on, I think it was what day? Tuesday. I think it was Tuesday. Tuesday or no, excuse me, Thursday, and it was so hot, man. Cooled down. I went to Pechabu. I guess it was last week for an event, and I really loved. I really loved Pechabu. There was the thing about it was I've told people there's no mall. There was no mall, and there was not a lot of tourists in Pechaboon, and I kind of like that. The tourists. There's a little more tourists here than I thought, and they're all from all over the world. Yeah. So here, Gina, I'm moving my hands. They're from all over the world. The foreigners here, which is really different. For those of you who are in the Philippines, it seemed to me that the major people in the Philippines were Americans, and that's not the case here. Like I said in my last video, I think we're the minority here, for sure. But I like it a lot. How is the weather in the Philippines? Are you guys done with your typhoons? I knew you were having some serious weather there for a while. And here it was hot. Oh my God, it was really hot. I worked out on, I guess it was Thursday. Yeah, it was Thursday. And it just seemed like we were melting because we don't have aircon at the Muay Thai place. And we didn't have aircon in the Philippines either at the gym there. I loved my gym in the Philippines. It was all open though, but all the equipment was new. This is in Tres Montañas. Yeah, good. I'm glad your typhoons are done. I know that several of my friends had water damage, and I know that Steve was locked into his bunker for a while. And yeah, and there was some flooding. We had some flooding here, but it wasn't nearly as bad as you guys. So I'm glad your typhoons are done. And I know that it's kind of wild when they close the schools because of weather or heat. That was the other thing too, was the heat. The heat here has been pretty hot. However, we are in Asia. As I used to tell my friends in the Philippines, what do you expect? We're like 16 feet from the sun in the Philippines. It was so hot. But all that being said, I guess my question to you guys is, what would you like to be seeing here in Thailand? What would you like for me to be covering? And what would you like Steve to be covering also in the Philippines? Okay, visas. Yep, got that. The visas here, I think I said this before, the visas here are, I think it's a tad easier in the Philippines, if you can believe that. But I don't know. I'm still going on 6 months here. I do have a year visa, and I'm happy about that. And I'm also keeping my SRRV in the Philippines because I still really like the Philippines a lot. So with that being said, so last night, I'm going to do a video on it. The Muay Thai fights. And it was so much fun, and it was so different. Can't remember seeing anything quite like that in the Philippines. So that's kind of my thought on that. Oh my God. Okay. Well, again, this is my first live stream, and Steve and I are going to try to do a live stream with together. So it's not so. I don't know. This is my first one, and I'm not quite sure what the actions are that we should be doing. My God. So, okay. Gotcha. Okay. So getting back to the videos, the 3 videos that I've done, the differences are a lot. Yes, thank you, Muay Thai. I love it. It's really been a lifesaver for me here. The people have become my new friends, and it's helped me lose kilos and kilos. The Muay Thai, and it's way different than the martial arts in America. Even though I think that the people are kind of similar, but they're really happy-go-lucky and they're really great sense of humor. The Muay Thai people here, and the fights are way different than the the fights that I went to and worked at in America. The fighters are similar, but not. Yeah, there's not a lot of dancing over anybody's graves. Good evening, Faye. Yep. Welcome. Fighting. With all that being said, we got 16, 17 people coming in and out. And like I said before, tell me what you'd like us to cover, and we'll be working. And I have done some videos on rentals in the Philippines, and I'm going to do rentals here. The rentals here are really interesting. Kap. Yes. Yes, coming soon. Yes, coming soon. Actually, most likely it'll be next week. I really want to clean this place before I show it. Or I have a friend, and she is a real estate agent, and we're gonna talk to her about places here in my unit and places all around Hua Hin. And then we actually will probably go to look at Bangkok. I liked Bangkok. I don't know if you guys have been there before. It reminds me of a different kind of Manila. I've said that before, that the traffic is a little better, I think, only because they don't allow the old vehicles on the road. But it's still bad traffic. The place that I'm at, the rent goes from 8,000 baht to 12,000 baht, and maybe you can even get it cheaper than 8,000 baht, and that's because it's 25, 26 floors. I'm above the 20th, and so I'm paying a little bit more for that that ability to be. My view is just incredible. I don't know if you've seen the videos. I love it, and it's so quiet up here. Um, Really? So what is the range, Faye, in Mindora? No. No. So they actually pay for water here, and they pay for your internet here, which is really interesting because in the Philippines, my internet was a real nightmare, and I paid for it. And my internet in the Philippines, you guys, really, really was kind of like America. My power bill in the Philippines was really like America. So there was things that reminded there were cost wise what I thought were very expensive. So I pay about so my power bill used to be between anywhere between 3,000 pesos to, I think I told you that one time they tried to charge me 12,000 pesos. But it usually ran between 4 and 6,000 pesos, my energy, which was crazy. Medical tourism in Asia isn't covered nearly enough. Dental therapy, surgeries. And what do you mean by that, Asian Jaywalker? I mean, what do you mean it's not covered? Medical tourism. Uh, Bataan, I haven't been there yet. Yeah, okay. So I was paying 4,000 pesos without my power bill and without internet and without water. Yeah, so once I started adding all that in the Philippines, it was very similar to what I'm paying here. Take us through. Yes, I'm going to do that. Um, You know, Michael, there is a communication issue about that. My friends tell me, and also where I'm at, it's really interesting, Michael, because there's an abundance of women from foreign countries here. I mean, more so than you would think, of all ages. So I think that they're a little more intense. I mean, I don't really know that much about that. I just from what my friends tell me that they're a little more conservative than the Philippines. I think the Filipinos are really open-hearted and friendly. I think that people on here would probably attest to that. Yeah. Uh, yes, yes. Inflation in the Philippines was getting crazy. I mean, I was paying for some food items, and these weren't Western food items. These were like lettuce and normal stuff. I was starting to pay a lot for them. Uh, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna show maybe two or three units, Faye, here, and we're gonna maybe look at one or two units here, one or two units in this building that I'm at, and then I found some really inexpensive apartments that seem to be well made. They're just smaller, and the weird thing is to get to the bathroom on this one I'm going to show. Oh, I love pad thai also. I just had it the other day. To get to the bathroom on this one unit that we're going to show, you literally have to walk outside on your balcony and into the bathroom. Which my buddy who lives there, I call him Fast Eddie. I'm like, dude, is that okay with you? Because he also has like his water and his kind of a dirty kitchen out there. So he's got just basically a studio, kind of a big studio, and then you walk outside on a smaller balcony, and on the balcony is his dirty kitchen, and to the left is his bathroom. So that means at 3 o'clock in the morning, when you have to go to the bathroom, you have to go out on the balcony and then go to the bathroom. I didn't like that idea, so I didn't like it at all. However, his rent is, I think it's 4,000 bahts. So 3, 6, 9, 12. That's like $120. Yeah, yeah. We'll see, Hazel. So my rent in the Philippines with my power bill, I think I said this in one of the videos, ended up to be 220 or $230 with my power bill and my internet, and my level of happiness in that unit. I loved my neighbors, not so much the noise and the dirt and the dust. And my buddy knew Steve. He could only last maybe 2 months in that complex, and he left his aircon and his refrigerator, and so I mean he ended up coming back, and that's okay. I mean, however, what I'm saying is that the trade-offs for the low rent, and I actually even had somebody, rightfully so, tell me not to be a cheap Charlie and to true up. That was the term this subscriber used, and I liked it. True up. He gave me a little bit of a hard time. He's like, you're only paying, $80 for your rent. What do you expect for 80? And I talked about this before, that if you think that there's no difference between an $80 a month rent and, let's say, a $250 rent, I think that's crazy, because here in Thailand, there's a huge difference. We did a video. I did a video at SM, the SM condos in Trece, and they were okay. There's no balcony, and they were very SM-like. I don't know if you guys ever stayed at SM before. It's okay, but you have to go sign in to use the pool. Blah 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 blah. So, and our pool's on the 5th floor here, and we have a library on the 5th floor. We have a small gym on the 5th floor. We also have a small washer and dryer unit. One of the cool things we have here, I'm going to do a video on this too. we have water machines in our building. We have water machines, and we also have 7-Eleven machine, and then we have a Coke machine that looks like something out of the future. It's really, really cool. So the trade-offs are huge. Better stay in Thailand for a while because the capital. Yeah, I heard that. As a matter of fact, Gina and I were just talking about. I heard that, and I read something about that too. And it's really interesting the dynamic that's going on in the Philippines right now. And I'm hoping that it all plays out well. However, political turmoil doesn't seem to be limited to any one country. And I don't know. I mean, it seems like the Filipinos, I could be wrong on this, but it seems like the Filipinos actually like Boom Boom. And I know that we're not supposed to talk politics here on this station, and certainly we're not allowed to talk politics while we're in the Philippines. And I like that, you know. But the people I talked to voted for Boom Boom, and so far he hasn't. I don't think he's done a bad job. There's been quite a few horrific mass murders. I don't know where, AJ Walker. Where have the mass murders been in Thailand? Yeah, no, I know, Michael, and I actually like that, and I like that that's part of our SRRV is the fact that we can't be involved in politics in Philippines. I don't know what it is here, and I don't here it's a whole different ball game with the king and the queen and the whole monarchy thing. So the town I'm living in, the king used to live here. I think that he passed, that king, but this has always been a visiting ground for the royalty, Hua Hin, because it's so perfect. It's got all these beaches and it's temperate climate. It's clean. It's got a nice ocean view. So, and we got monkeys, which if you followed any of my artwork, I really like the monkeys, and we're gonna do a video on that too, because I love the monkeys. So the reason I actually like it here, Hazel, is that it's a lot like Cavite, and it's a lot like Trece Martinez, where Steve lives and where I used to live, and that is that it's only about 3 hours from a bus, and the buses here are incredible. Yeah, the buses here are. Oh man, I'm in a place, Michael, called Hua Hin, which is about 3 hours from Bangkok, and it's about 3.5 hours from the older airport, which is what I flew a lot to get to Manila. So we have two major airports here, and again, I'm going to do a video on that coming up. I've only had it for a week. So there's an older airport, which is what I flew a lot and what I know, and the newer airport, which is probably it's more the international flights. So, yeah, I haven't had anything to make me rethink my decision here so far. Knock wood. As a matter of fact, it's quite the opposite. It's quite the opposite for me. I've had more situations that make me feel that I made the right decision. That said, I really love Filipinos. They're besides the karaoke thing, joke along, because now I'm feeling the urge to do karaoke, and there's no karaoke. Yay! So, yeah, it's about 3.5 hours, and the buses. Oh man, Hazel, the buses are. There's this one bus company that takes you right into Bangkok, and the way they seat one. There's one whole row with only one seat, and then on the other side is two, and it goes all the way back, and they have phone chargers on every seat, and they give you water, and there's also a CR, and there's no stops usually. It's amazing. And there's another bus that leaves from the airport that's not quite as VIP as that, but it's still nice. And you guys, so the buses there, they have a door that you can't open, and that's where the driver is. The driver and the driver's assistant. So I wasn't quite used to that being locked into the back. Now, every seat has a window breaker, which is interesting. So we are, yeah, yeah. I mean, um, I still, when I lived, in, I've lived in several places in America. Like I said, Texas, the Midwest, the West Coast, and I felt more on guard in America. And what was weird is, I went to college in a big school and never had any problem with my vehicle getting broken into. And when I went back to the Midwest, I don't know, my first year, half a year, my car was broken into and they stole my proprietary tape deck. I was, you know, which was proprietary or something that cost a lot of money to replace it. Uh, we are live streaming from Hua Hin in Thailand. We are on above the 20th floor, looking out over the ocean. And this is my very first live stream, so I appreciate you being patient. I'm going to have it better lit next time, and you're welcome. And again, I'm new to this YouTube studio, and that's one thing I really I don't know who we have on because I'm new and I don't know all you guys yet. However, I can't say this enough that I'm so grateful for Steve for many reasons. I'm here in Asia uh, with Steve's help from his YouTube channel. I went through so many YouTube channels before I discovered Steve and Steve's repetition is what got me. The healthcare, the emergency fund, things like that. I really appreciate it with Steve, and so I really appreciate him. Yes, yes, John. I lived in the Philippines for 2 years, and before I lived there, I went there and did exploratory. So yeah, I like the Philippines. Don't get me wrong. I lived in Tagaytay and I lived in Cavite, right across the street from Mr. Steve. Uh, yes, John. Yes, and I want to. Both him and I want to carry that torch forward because when I came here, John, it was literally like I was starting all over again. Hey, what do you say? What do you say, Rich? Good to see you. Um, yeah, so it was literally starting all over when I came to Thailand about, crap, about visas, about healthcare, about driver's license, about everything. I just did a video on that, John, and yes, there is a language barrier. Absolutely. You know, I did Steve. My God, the Boston guy, whatever. I pitch him in my videos. But getting back to the info channel thing, that there needs to be that for Thailand, and that's what Steve and I talked about. So, and we also talked about him because there's still SRRV information to be had, and Steve really he really helps people. And like I said in one of the videos, I didn't even meet Steve until after I had my SRRV, and I had to call him a couple times, and I finally got through to him. And then once him and I met, you know, we became bros. We both were actually different on a lot of different ways, but the sense of humor that he has, that I have, and that Rich has actually, and Big Frank, and a lot of people, a lot of us expats. I don't want to say it's twisted, our sense of humor, but I actually one of the first videos that I did, and Steve did a video on it too, is sarcasm, because I speak fluently in sarcasm, and it's not really appreciated all that much in the Philippines. Now, with that being said, I'm here to tell you I'm here to tell you that the sense of humor of the Thai people, oh my God, I love it because they do speak a little more sarcasm than Filipinos. And they are a little sillier, I think, and not in a bad way. Um, so my new group, my new crowd is varied because I'm now really hanging out a lot with the Muay Thai people, some motorcycle people, um, and most of my friends here, you guys, are from other countries. Okay, Hazel. I mean, I'm here to tell you that I know that a lot of Filipinos. When I first went there, I felt really kind of bad because my humor just went. And here, sometimes they say the Thai people say stuff. I was like, so did you? So my SRRV. So you guys, I literally planned. I'm an over planner to the extent that it's ridiculous. So I started my SRRV a year before I got here. And like I said, I watched Steve's channel incessantly. I watched Old Dog. I watched Boots on the Ground, Geo. I watched a host of, of blogs and videos. And so my SRRV, I ended up being able to get it maybe like, was it 2 months? A month or 2 months. Actually, my Gina would probably remember that too. So yeah, I worked on my SRRV for a year before I got here. So, and I suggest that you guys do that too. I've seen people that I've seen people come here and not have their paperwork and not have started it. You know, I get it. Sometimes sometimes you don't know. With that being said, you need to get your stuff apostatized. My DD214, that was kind of a nightmare because where my DD214 was kept, there was a fire and a flood because I guess the sprinklers came on. And so everything had to be recreated. And that's, even though I went into AFES, I went into the service out of Oakland, California, my DD214 was being kept in St. Louis. You can your DD214. John, you can actually request that because I didn't have a copy either, and so I actually had a friend, and they hooked me up, and with somebody who in the know, and I had to request it out of St. Louis. So, and I have weird DD214 because I went in as the Army, and I got out as the Navy. So, and I really wanted to show Steve that. So. Steve is up. So, okay. See you, buddy. Uh, thank you, Big Slick. I appreciate it. Yeah. Yeah. So it was a month and a half. It was a month and a half. And, next time I'm not going to do the live stream at the same time that Steve does. That doesn't really make a lot of sense. But I didn't really think of it that much. I just wanted to get it done and try it because I've never, this is my first live. You guys are part of my first live stream. So, um, yes, yes, Hazel. I think that healthcare is better here. At least I think it's better for foreigners. I really do think that. Uh, in the Bay Area. Oh, you live in the Bay Area? Oh, okay, cool. Where in the Bay Area? Because I actually grew up in Silicon Valley and worked in San Jose and Santa Clara and Fremont and San Jose. Uh, we'll let you switch branches once if. Yes, yes. So I did a stint in the Army, nuclear missiles, and then I did a stint in the Navy Reserve. So I did regular Army and then I did Navy Reserve as a air traffic control on Carl Vinson. Oh, Hayward, nice. Yeah, yeah. I lived right next to Hayward, which is Fremont, and I would commute from Fremont to San Jose, which is only like 17, 16 miles, and it was an hour and a half one way. It was ridiculous. So, oh, Manteca? Yeah, I know Manteca. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's, you know, growing up in Silicon Valley in the heyday, Man, I went back. My brother's he's living in Rockland and in the Sacramento area. It's so different. I mean, I just don't know how people. I don't know how people afford to live there. I'm on the phone here. Ah, nice. So yes, I think healthcare is better. And again, I'm going to do something on that too. There's a clinic here called Be Well Clinic, and it is run by foreigners, not expats, by foreigners, and they speak English. You have to pay like if you don't have to pay, but you can pay a membership fee, which means everything is 15% less, and you get blood workup. You get a whole lab with that your membership. And so throughout the year, your everything is 15% off. All your health care. So I have an appointment on. I've been, I think 3 times. I think, yeah. Oh, you are the one that yes, John. I am the one. And if you actually remember, I did about 20, 25 videos or more for Steve all throughout the past year. You can get meds. Yes, yes. Actually, Michael, it's better because yeah, there was meds that I could not get in Cavite. They either were out of stock or they just refused to carry them. And you can literally walk into the pharmacy here, develop a relationship, and they will order you meds. It's amazing. I love it. Uh, Moffett Field. Oh my God. Yes. So I'm trying to think of where was the big naval base? Because that's where I was. God, that was so many years ago. They've closed it down. It's now a big toxic dump site. Alameda. That's what it was. So I was stationed out of Alameda for my Navy stint, and that's closed. It's a huge city. They've closed it down, and there's like asbestos is a good thing about the place. Yeah. Yes, meds are well, and actually, to be fair, meds are expensive here. One of my sleep meds, depending on where you buy it, it's ridiculously expensive. But with that said, you couldn't buy it at all in the Philippines, not at all. Yeah. Yes, they're cheaper than the states, and I think that here they're a little expensive. Yes, Alameda. Yes, I miss the old days of Silicon Valley when we used to make stuff, and I was very much involved with many Silicon Valley companies, startups like Atari, Intel, places like that. Yeah, there's good weather in Alameda. I think there's good weather in the Bay Area, really. I miss. I think that Filipinos though would be cold in the Bay Area because it gets down to 67 degrees, and God forbid. Yeah. So, and the weather here, I think it's a little hotter. It's more balmy, if that's the proper word. I don't know. I don't mind it, and you guys, you're gonna laugh, all 20 of you. I don't wear shorts. I didn't in the Philippines for 2 years, and I haven't for half a year here. People think I'm crazy, but that's okay. Ah, San Diego. Yeah, a lot of my friends did time down in San Diego. Yeah, and isn't there Marines down there too? Is it Lejeune? I can't remember. I think that my nephew graduated from boot camp from the Marines down there. I think down in Southern California. Yeah. I don't think so, John. I didn't have. I looked at going. I looked at moving to Mexico, and to be a visitor, to be a tourist. I've been to Mexico. I've worked in Mexico. Is fairly easy. I don't think that you should have a problem. Ah, thank you, Hazel. I appreciate that. My feelings are, life is short. See the world, and we should see the world while we can still see the world. I know people that are waiting, stocking up their money until the right time. Don't wait too long. That's my only thing. And we both know. Everybody on here knows. Everybody on here knows that going to the Philippines, moving to the Philippines, moving to Thailand is not easy. So yeah, I don't think. Yeah, well, the problem, John, is that the offloading from Manila. We just had a friend that he was taking his girlfriend to a foreign country, and he went and got a visa and all that, got the proof of income, and they still offloaded her at the last minute. I think it was because they went too long. I think it was because the visa was like, I think it was, I don't know, 60 days or 90 days. It was actually at the very top of the rungs of when you could visit. You got that means an opportunity, tools to use money. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. I remember Larry. I remember wearing a suit, a full suit for my nephew's graduation, and the DI is going, "Aren't you hot? You're wearing a full suit." I'm like, "This is a big deal. It's not every day that somebody graduates from Marines boot camp." Yeah, it's a tough one. Yes, yeah, but total awesome. I guess my point of that is that how healthy will you be? I mean, I've seen guys. I work out with guys that are in their 60s and 50s and 40s that struggle, and I'm definitely a notch above that, and I'm working out with them. So God bless. January 28 before the pandemic, Filipino immigration. Yes, yes, Michael. And I did the same, and I was really worried that she would be offloaded, and her line was super long, and so I ended up waiting for her. But our friend, his girl was offloaded, so yeah. Well, and so was Fort Bliss. Fort Bliss was smoke. My first month or two in Fort Bliss, I hated it. There was nothing green. There was not even the Lee Trevino golf course in Fort Bliss or in El Paso was green. So my oldest brother, Paul San Diego. Nice, nice. Yeah, and you know what? Boot camp. I don't know about you, Larry, but boot camp was magic for me. It really was transformational. And then our AIT, because I was Air Defense Artillery, our AIT was like right there. So I went from boot camp in El Paso, Fort Bliss, to my AIT in Fort Bliss. And so it was kind of nice because, you get to know the town, the city. And like I said, by the time I finished off my Army, because they phased out my nuclear missiles, that they put me in another unit. I think it was a Hawk unit. And so I did like maybe 8 months left in El Paso. And I really liked El Paso. The desert is beautiful in El Paso. We are an hour behind you. Yeah, so we are an hour behind you. So it's 8:50 here. Uh, you don't think that the Philippine immigration is no longer that strict? Well, I mean, again, we both know the same friend whose girlfriend got offloaded, and he felt that he did everything correctly. And I think that's a horrible, horrible feeling and a horrible thing to have happen. I only spent 4 days there. The cleanest place I ever been. Yeah. Um, yeah. I mean, that was my goal, Michael. I mean, was to make the Philippines my final place. However, you know, um, like I said in the last video, I implore you all, if you're thinking of going to the Philippines and retiring, try both places. I've told Steve this 100 times, and some of our other friends too. If you have been to both places, who knows where you will land. And I know that if I went to both to Thailand and to the Philippines, yeah, I most likely would have picked Thailand. And I'm glad I didn't, though, because I had so many great experiences and met so many great people. But I also went to Mexico for exploratory, and yeah, no, no. Mexico was a great place for expats in so much that it's close. It's close to America. Many of my friends on the West Coast, in particular, wanted me to settle in Mexico so that I could basically be either a drive, which I really wouldn't want to do, or a flight, which I've done. And flying from Puerto Vallarta, Mismale, Cancun, or wherever is not that painful. I actually did a cruise into Mexico, and it was fun. Yeah. Now, see, that's something too, Michael. Japan. I haven't been to Japan, but I know people that have who absolutely love it, and I know Filipinos that actually love Japan, and Thai people that love Japan. I worked with the Japanese government and the Japanese people when I was in Silicon Valley. So I worked with a lot of different companies in countries when I was in Silicon Valley, Spain, Japan. I love the Spanish people and I love the Spanish government, even though they ran our company into some issues. The Japanese company that I worked for was really, really interesting, and I don't think I'd do that again. Uh, Yeah, maybe. Michael, the thing with the Thai language is just the inflections. The inflections are killer. Sawadee ka, maybe yeah. So, they have the same words for like five different things. It's just so I'm learning. I'm making a real effort to. Like to chat. No, digital nomads explore. I live here. I live in Thailand. Let's see. No. So yeah, I live here. I chose Thailand after I lived in the Philippines, just to catch you up. Yeah, and actually, I have a really good friend. He's from Canada, and he did 2 or 3 years in Korea, and he loved it. He actually had surgery. He had major cancer surgery in Korea. You know, he loved Korea, and he actually taught there. And so now he's here. And most of my friends, I think I've told you this before, most of my friends most of my friends are from other countries. We expats Americans are in the minority here. It's just how it is. My good friends are from Canada. I have a couple of army friends, but I have a lot of German friends, and I have a lot of Swedish friends, and Finnish, and I have a lot of Thai friends too. uh, yeah, yeah, the tonal, yeah, just like you said. Yes, I'm really looking forward to go to Vietnam. And my brother from California. We are talking about going to the Ho Chi Minh Trail and going to Cambodia. Excuse me, because that's kind of we would like to see. We would like to see some of the things that went down there, and just I don't know. We're curious. As a lot of you know here, that depending on our ages, that's a time frame of our generation is the Vietnam. And so, and I think I told you that I met a friend from Vietnam, a new friend, 2 days ago. He loves it there. He's going back. He's been living there. Where was it? Laos or Ho Chi Minh? I forget where he's living. He's living. He doesn't have a vehicle. He walks to the beach. He walks everywhere. He says that you could live in Vietnam for $1,000 comfortably. So we'll check into that. And here, I'm trying to be honest with my expenses. That the food here, I just had a wonderful dinner. I just had Penang curry, which is one of my go-tos, chicken and rice and water. The total on that was three, six, maybe 370, and everything was fresh and spicy. Bali, Indonesia. Yeah, I have a friend, Fast Eddie, and he goes there every other month because he has a child there through his ex-wife. He goes there every other month and stays in Bali for a month. So, and actually, it's his apartment we're going to see. And what's really funny about his apartment here in Thailand is that so his apartment sits right above my Muay Thai camp. So Muay Thai starts the classes start at 9. They go from 9 until 11, and then from 4 until 6. And it is noisy, you guys. There is some punching and some screaming, and I wouldn't. I'll have to show you that when I do the video. It's crazy. Do they take? Um, yeah, Hua Hin has a lot of credit cards, and actually, I just used my credit card last night. I worked. I didn't work. I helped a promoter, a Muay Thai promoter, as a photographer. So, and the fights ran late, and I went to a McDonald's, not a McDonald's, excuse me, a 7-Eleven. I got a video coming on that. 7-Elevens here, you guys, are magical. Oh my god. And so I use my credit card, and she's like, you have to be above a certain amount for the credit card. So yeah, there's a lot of credit cards that are accepted here. Especially, we have two malls here, and they're incredible malls. Um, they are not like the SM malls. We have one mall called Blueport that's kind of a upper, and then my favorite is Market Village. And Market Village has a food court down below where you can eat. Again, I'm not trying to be a cheap Charlie. I'm just trying to eat fresh, and I'm trying to eat smart. Which I think I told you in a video that I've lost at least 10 kilos since I've been in Asia. Thailand, and older here who have property in the Philippines. Yeah, no, I get it. Uh, do I struggle with the language? Boy, that's a hot topic. Um, yes. However, whether it's the Muay Thai or whether it's the condo that I'm at, that they we struggle together. Yeah, we do. And some of the restaurants, ugh, you have. I mean, I've come to the point now. Of course, I have a favorite, and she knows what I get. But I actually point at on the restaurant, and I say one. I had the same issue in the Philippines, though, you guys. I had people in the Philippines try to give me two or three or four or five, different foods. Uh, Richard, you should come and see. I will tell you that. You should come and see. Uh, you know, big schlick. I knock wood. I actually started. I never used my ATM ever. I think I used it one time in the Philippines, and I've been here 6 months. I use it all the time now. My ATM, and however, there's a Western Union on every street corner. Um, no, and I think they even have Gcash. You can switch your Gcash to something else, but I didn't do it. So yeah, I have had no issues with trans. And to get your visa here, you have to have a bank account, just like in the Philippines. And so if you have the bank account, and if you go with the ATM card, you can do like Gcash, where if you have the app, you just pull the app up, scan, and you're paid. Everybody here loves that one. I haven't gotten into that yet. So, uh, yes, yes, digital. I live alone. Hmm. And Richard, I don't know. I don't know how to say it enough. The food is your mind is blown. I was just you came in a little bit late. I just had Penang curry, chicken with a small order of rice and a water. And actually, I had their smoothies here are almost all fruit, and you could say nitnoi or very little sugar, and so you're basically just having fresh fruit for a drink. So I had the Penang curry, small rice, water, and an orange smoothie, and it clocked in at probably around $4, 450 maybe. So, but I've eaten for as little as 210, and it's really, really, really good. So, yeah, I it was one of the reasons in America I had Thai food all the time. I had Thai food as much as I could get it in America. Uh, Digital nomad. We're actually going to have a show on a video on the visa requirements. So I have a friend. I call him Big Funk, and him and I went back and forth, and we're going to talk about this hopefully this week coming up. About so when you get here, you guys, you don't have to do anything. You know, I never had to show a ticket. I have never had to do any of that. And you get 30 days, and I believe you can get another 30 days after that. Um, Here, though, there's no BS about overstaying. No way. No, sir. They are very strict. And even on your year visa, you have to check in every 3 months. I don't mind it. The check in is at the mall. And if you go to secret time, there's nobody there. And I've been there, I guess I've been there once because I'm on my halfway. And it was walk up, they stamp, you're done. So I think that's why you're losing kilos. That's an excellent natural food, I believe. Big Slick, it's also the Muay Thai. No question about that. It's the Muay Thai for me and the food. And you're right. The Muay Thai, though, is I'm striving to do it 2 to 3 times a week, and it is 2 hours, and it is solid. And I love it. I absolutely positive, and the people. I've said it before. It's like the UN there. I mean, today, one of my favorite friends is from her and her husband are from Finland, and my other friend is from Germany. My other friend is from Spain. So we're all like-minded people. And last night, I worked the fights, and I was telling Gina on here that it was literally like Cheers, you guys, for me, because I've worked the fights like maybe 3 times now, and everybody knows me. They love the work that I do, and they seem to like me. And so I walked in. I actually have a video on it on my Facebook. I walked in. It was literally like I felt like Norm on Cheers. Everybody's like, "Hey, hey, Rich, hey, hey, hey." So yeah, yeah. Thank you very much, though. I appreciate that. I think that's why. Plenty of time for sure. Well, Big Slick, for me, I we've talked about this before. Is that what are you going to do when you come to the Philippines or Thailand or Mexico or wherever? Are you going to sit and watch Netflix? Or are you going to go to the bar? There's a lot of expats here and foreigners that they're big bar people. That I mean, and my good friend here, he's about maybe 40, 45, and I think he did like 20 years in the army. He is in amazing shape, and he looks like he's about 20, and that's his deal. And he's a good guy, but that's his deal. He goes to the bar, he becomes friends with the owners, and dare I say, the bar girls, and that's his thing, you know. And I have so many of my friends like, hey, come out at the bar with me. I'm like, no, no, I just don't like to drink, and I don't like to smoke cigarettes, and so no. But I get it, and I will never. If that's what you like to do, that's what you like to do, and spend your money on. But even in Cavite, we had a gym called the Titan, and this gym rivaled any gym that I've been to in America. Besides the fact that it was open air, and there's no aircon, which now I'm used to. I'm used to the heat now. It doesn't really bother me that much. So, but you have to have that mindset, though. That's for darn sure. Yeah. Um, and you also, you want to have some kind of schedule. So like I said, my goal is 3 times of Muay Thai a week, and then maybe supplement it with some free weights. But you know, some of my friends go to the theater, some of them go to the bar. I'm still very healthy. Yeah, an economic guy, all engineers. No, no. I mean, yeah, yeah. I'm not. I would never despair anybody if you want to drink. It's just not my game. And not only that, but I ride a lot of motorcycle. And hmm, speaking of that, I had my first little incident on a motorcycle today, and the T Waffle pulled right out in front of me in a motorcycle with his wife, and I jammed into him. And luckily, I wasn't going fast. It's the Justin school of going slow in the city, and so there was no damage to anything, and I didn't get hurt. But it was my first incident with hitting somebody. Guy pulled right out in front of me. So anyway, getting back to what I said, when I first came here, Big Slick, I went to Phuket, and I actually call it something else, but I can't call it that here. I went to Phuket and met some restaurant owners, and I think I had one beer with them, and I got on the road, and I decided that I would never ever do that again because they're on the other side of the road. So, uh, yes, yes, Richard. I believe that you could easily have a very good life at that amount. That's two break smash, right? Yeah, 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 yeah. No, so I've actually Big Slick. I've had 2 taps. I had one in Tagaytay with when I drove with the ADV motorcycle club, and I tapped a trike, and he turned around and looked at me, and it freaked me out more than him. And I'm like, "Hey, sorry, Paul." And his trike was a POS, so you know how the trikes are sometimes in the Philippines, and it was like a trike that he hauled stuff with. So, and tonight, they were very apologetic. I took a picture of his license plate, and yeah, so yeah, yeah. But I think that you'd be fine, Richard, on that amount of money. And we all know people that are getting double that, and that they're having trouble. They're having trouble spending it. So yeah. Oh well. Who's looking forward to the two-wheel challenge? Yes, Big Slick. Yeah, I did too. I mean, I grew up. I started riding 7 and 8. I started racing at 9, and I did motocross and I did trials. And my old man and I did enduros in Fremont, and actually all over California. So if you haven't ridden ever before, I'm going to say, please go slow. You know, don't be a Komodo rider. I think I could deal with the bikes. And why, John? I mean, you know, um, I don't know. Um, I'm actually getting ready to get an ADV, a 160, because that's what I had in the Philippines. And people in the Philippines, the ADV club, we did complete loops around the country on the 160s. And now that I'm down a kilo or two, and I don't have anybody to put on the back. So, yeah, there's a lot of big bike riders here. The challenge with that is that the challenge with that is around town. I test rode a 300 and I test rode a 400, and it was kind of a joke around town because they're just like bricks. And so, anyway, getting back to what we're talking about, riding young. So yeah, yeah. My family went and bought a Harley Davidson dealership right at the turn when they were turning good. Um, so yeah, I've been, my last Harley was a Ultra Glide Classic, which was a brick, was a pig. I did not like it. Same I am. So anyway, uh, let's see. Yeah, no, no, I understand because I had a 1650. It was either 1650 or 1750. Yamaha Royal was my last bike in America, and it was an amazing bike, and I loved it. It was the fastest, best riding bike I've ever had in my life, really, and it was 1750. And you still had a gear left, and you were doing 100. Here, though, you just I don't, yeah. If you're going to Bangkok, if you're going to Pattaya, if you're going far away, yeah, I guess. So, growing up in New England, we were always riding motorcycles or bikes. Yeah, nice size Duro. Yeah, they have them. The challenge is Big Slick is that the cost. I think that they're almost cheaper in the Philippines, and also the bikes that I like are they're in demand here, so that means they're expensive. There's more Harleys here, and there's definitely more bigger bikes. There's more enduro type of bikes that run from 350 up to 750 to 1100. Um, oh wow, what I'm thinking about Honda. I just rode a PCX last week. I just rode a PCX 160 last week, and I would suggest Richard that you try the ADV. I really would. Similar engine, just a different chassis and a much better ride, in my opinion. I had the ADV, and also the ADV, the resale is crazy. I sold my ADV. I think it was what 18 hours. It was something ridiculous. Uh, yeah, no, no, the 160 I thought did really well. Oh, Big Slick, it's crazy. It's crazy expensive here. And I don't know why. I mean, the ADV that I'm looking to get, I mean, we have it on order, and I couldn't get the color I want. I mean, it's so much in the bikes that the ADV. There's ADV 160, 150, 350, and 750. And the 750s, I mean, they're thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. So even the ADV, even the PCX. My buddy has a new PCX, and he let me test drive it. Excuse me, and and it was nice. It was smooth, and he loves it. So I think that was. I know. I agree with you. Well, I guess here's the deal, Big Slick. I think the bikes, excuse me, certain bikes are cheap here, but do you want them? I don't want them. I don't think so. uh, I could just buy a bike in the States. Ugh, tariffs. You be getting a lot more tariffs. The what you pay to bring it in here is crazy. Yeah, so that's how they work that. So, excuse me. Let's see. Yeah, I don't think that shipping it. So let me tell you a story about shipping. We shipped 3 boxes from the Philippines to Thailand, and it was an act of God. I had so much better luck with the ballot buying boxes. It's just, it was crazy. It took, I think, going into 4 months to get 3 boxes shipped from the Philippines to Thailand. My ballot buying boxes didn't seem to take that much. Yes, importing a bike would be crazy expensive. Yeah, and another thing too. I don't know if you guys are familiar with a Toyota model called FJ Cruiser. That was my favorite car I've ever had, and I almost got what I paid for it. They were a lot of places in Philippines. I haven't seen one here. I haven't seen one FJ Cruiser. Yeah, I'm just telling you, Big Slick, that yeah, that it's crazy. And it's been said before, and I'll say it again: you get what you pay for, whether it's apartment, motorcycle. Uh, you know, a lot of, like I said, I got guys poke fun at me for my $80 apartment, and rightfully so. I did not have a water heater. Um, yeah, yeah. I don't think I would do that again. KTM 390. Wow, that'd be nice. Actually, it's really funny because I think car prices are a little more affordable than motorcycle. I've seen some used cars, but I haven't had a car in almost 3 years. It's been that long. I only drove. I drove Justin Krenke's van one time in the Philippines, and I hated it. I had traffic from Das Marinas to Cavite. It literally took us 2 hours to drive the van back, and it's like, yeah, I don't want to do that again. So, and Cranky bought one of those yellow vans that came from Japan that they literally moved the steering wheel over to the other side, and it was a nice van. I mean, I don't think he paid very much. So yeah, I think cars are more affordable than bikes here. And that's because everybody wants a bike. Yeah, I think that they're cheaper. I mean, the prices in America, because I worked the car industry from the marketing standpoint. Car prices seem like they've come down in America. Uh, oh, Big Slick Cavite was, yeah, it was getting bad. It was well. There's just to me, a sense of I don't want to call it chaos, but a sense of calamity, just a sense of busyness of in Cavite that I wasn't a huge fan of. I really wasn't. You go to the mall, you have to wait in line to get in. They search your bag. Yeah, I don't miss that at all. And here, even though this is a real tourist spot, you're never in queue for anything very long. It doesn't seem like. However, with that being said, there's still no stock po. I've had that happen in Petaboom last week, 2 or 3 times. There was, yeah, and we couldn't rent a motorcycle in Petaboom, so a few trucks. Yes, yes, John. They're like wind up. They have like little gerbils inside of them. However, Justin's wasn't bad. It had decent power, decent shifting. Aircon was okay, but it was small. It reminded me of a Flintstone car where you put your feet through and do that. And he waited for that because they made that special for him. So there's that. Now parking, you guys. I try not to complain about a lot of crap, but parking, I don't know what the thinking is. I mean, people are so respectful here, except when it comes to parking. Go figure. I feel like Peter Griffin. It really grinds my gears. You could park. I mean, if people park the way that they park here in America, there'd be shots fired. Yeah, there'd be fisticuffs. I mean, people park on top of you and they don't think anything about it. I spent 3 weeks in Davao. I was supposed to go to Davao. I actually had an Airbnb set for Davao, and something happened, and I ended up not going there. Yeah, I've heard good things about Davao. I really have. I heard it's safe, it's clean. Yeah, I heard a lot of interesting things about it. Because wasn't that where Sarah Duterte, wasn't she the mayor, or was it or was it her dad? Anyway, I heard nothing but good things about Davao. Yeah, Manila. I'm in a minority. I liked Manila. Actually, I liked it in Makati. So, yeah, yeah, yeah. No. You could literally park a block away and come back out, and there's somebody who's literally parked like right next to you like this. And I just, and I know that I don't believe it's malice. I don't believe it's done to make us mad, or it's just, to me it's mind blowing. Yeah, living in Manila, I think would be tough, expense wise and traffic and people wise. It would be very difficult, and unless you just got boatloads of dough. Throwing boatloads of dough seems to solve many issues. Uh, yeah, yeah. Actually, I looked at Batangas. I looked at Laguna. I should have looked at Laguna harder. Um, yeah, yeah. quieter for sure. I'm told that too. I'm told that too. So, uh, yeah, well, wasn't she the mayor at one point too of Davao? I could have sworn that she was, because there's footage of her. There's footage of her in a fisticuff with the police chief, and that's Sarah. That's not her dad. I could have sworn there in Davao. Sarah. What was it quiet? And Richard, at your place in Davao? Yeah, okay. I thought I'd heard Sarah was also the mayor. I thought I'd heard that. Yeah, yeah, and I'm keeping an eye on that situation too. Yeah, okay. I thought so about her being the mayor. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of how I feel about Hua Hin. I'm outside of Bangkok. I like Bangkok a lot. I like Bangkok. Oh, nice, nice. You know, that was a huge issue for me in Cavite and Steve's and Steve has a really cool place. He's like down off the road, and not only that, but he's like the last unit, and he's like on a creek, and or that's what's down below him. So he didn't have to deal with roosters. Now our mayor, she has a compound behind us, behind Steve, and she keeps roosters, and so. Yeah, I'm not a fan of roosters, and I'm not a fan of gaunt dogs, and I'm not a fan of chaining dogs up or putting them in a tiny cage. It to me, it's heartbreaking. So, and here, again, you guys, I said it before. This is not perfect. It's not perfect here. However, there's certain things that you don't have here, and that's the karaoke. You know, I mean, there was a school behind my unit. Other than that, actually, I did a video on I did a video on the units in Cavite in Tracy Martinez, and they're right behind a school. And our buddy Ted, he actually faced the school, and I think I'm trying to think of where he was, fourth or eighth floor. He said it wasn't too bad, and yeah, I just hear the bells ringing. Uh, yeah, uh, it's it was heartbreaking. It literally was heartbreaking to me, and it played into the factor of Thailand. Thailand dogs, the strays are treated like, I don't know, Buddhists. I mean, we all feed the strays, and some of them are in better shape than others. However, I have yet to see one dog chained up with a chain this big in front of somebody's house. I've yet to see that. I've yet to see a husky in a tiny cage like I saw in Cavite frequently, with mange, and it's heartbreaking. And I actually asked a Filipino about that, and yeah, it's a little freaky seeing the monkeys. Uh, well, it's so funny that you mentioned that, because I have a friend. I'm going to do a show on monkeys too, because I like the monkeys. Um, they are bold as F here in Wahan. My one friend, they just, the monkeys are having Game of Thrones games, and one of the king monkeys threw another monkey on a spike, killed it. Another monkey threw another monkey into my friend's pool, and it hurt. It bled. Um, and so they are actually trying to rehome some of the monkeys, but they're literally attacking people and trying to steal their food. Uh, yeah. Yes. Okay. Yeah. We're gonna wrap up here in a couple minutes. Thank you guys for helping me on my first. Yeah. I don't know. I get it if you're having issues feeding your children, that you're going to have issues feeding your dogs, or as I call them, your doorbell. Um, However, with that being said, I know places in Alabama and Illinois, and where they treat their dogs like that too, and so there's a lot of that going around. I tell people that all the time, and I'll probably close off with kind of this comment. When I first got to the Philippines, I used to go to a lot of Facebook chats. I don't anymore, and people used to complain about the customer service in the Philippines. And I used to just scratch my head, and I used to say, have you ever dealt with AT&T? Have you ever dealt with Comcast, Infinity, Macy's, any of the other credit card companies that we could just start? Have you ever dealt with them? So it's kind of hard to point fingers at horrible customer service. You know, yeah. I mean, I'll never ever do business with AT&T again, and I don't mind saying that on this open forum. It's just a horrible company to deal with. Their customer service is non-existent. So when I hear people complain about customer service in the Philippines, I'm like, whatever. Uh, yeah, Larry, it's one of my superpowers is I feed strays, and I actually have food in my motorcycle, and I actually have I have little tiny buckets that I can give them water. So I feed stray dogs all the time, and I'm not the only one. Oh my God, Big Slick. I can't. I mean, I have AT&T stories. Yeah, and I don't talk about very many companies that I think are horrible, but that is one that, no doubt, there was a reason they were broken up. So, all right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up here. Thank you so much. I think we at one point we had 23, 20, 25 people. Thank you so much for joining, and moderating and being good guys and good gals. I appreciate it. We'll do this more often. And again, thanks a lot for being here. Kapkung kap. Salamat po. Thank you. Good night.